Hey y'all, Log Home Mom here. So I am getting ready for St. Patty's Day meal, and I wanted to share with you guys what I do because it's super simple, but I don't think a lot of people know how to fix corned beef. And I don't boil it, like don't boil your corned beef. A lot of people think they just go ahead and do that traditional. There are so many other amazing ways to make corned beef, and this is just one of them. So I'm gonna put mine in the slow cooker, and it will probably be in here. I'm putting it on the 6-hour mode, and then I'll go ahead and change that a little later to make it a little lower once I get a nice cook on it. And right now I have bacon defrosting in the microwave for my cabbage. So I always take my corned beef and I take off a lot of this fat just because I don't feel like you need all of it. And I don't take it all off. I just take off the big layer, the top layer of it. And I use a nice boning knife. So like, look at that knife. It is amazing. This knife is amazing for fish, chicken. Just be careful not to bone you. So this is super simple, and I just bone off a lot of this fat. And I mean, you could totally leave it on if you wanted to. I just don't, and I never do when it comes to just about anything. If I'm doing it on the grill and I need a nice char, I'll do that. But otherwise, I typically, because this is a lot of fat, so I typically go ahead and just take off. I mean, it's really thick on here. I'll show y'all how thick it is. So it's like super thick layer of fat. And I just take off the majority of it. I do leave on some, and this will go fat side up just to kind of keep in the juices. So I'll show you the before and after here. Super easy though. How you guys doing today? What a great day, huh? So I'm in here in the kitchen. I'm watching my movies. I've got an Irish movie on, and I'm doing all of my preparations for my St. Patty's meal. We'll have potatoes. I'm gonna make some Southern cabbage, which is so simple. A lot of people don't even realize how to make cabbage absolutely amazing. Right, so I took off quite a bit. So I still have, as you can see, I still have a little bit on. So this is going to go in my crock pot. Now in the crock pot, I have about a cup of water. I have probably about a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, and I've got 3 bay leaves. I love bay leaves. So on top of that, what I'm fixing to do, let me wash my hands. What I'm fixing to do is put some spices on top. So that little spice packet you got, go ahead and use it. They give it to you, use it. It's got some amazing things in it. So I put that in a cup with salt, pepper, probably about a 1/2 teaspoon each of salt and pepper. And then I put about 2 tablespoons of sugar in there. And now I'm gonna do garlic. We love garlic. So I'm going to probably put about 3 cloves of garlic in there. And I really should be making corned beef a lot more because we like it. It's so good. Let me try to, that's a thick hole on there. Let me try to get one off. Get enough. That would help. There we go. So I'm gonna do 2 more on here. And I love this little garlic press. It's so amazing. Literally just takes a couple of seconds and your garlic's all nice and minced. I got 1 more. So my it's in there and going on 6 hours. So it'll be ready by dinner time. There we go. All right, I'll take a little fork and I'm gonna just do it all together. You can see here. So now this is going to go right on top. Just right there. And I'm just gonna kind of take my hand and spread it all on there. Get it all that goodness. So if you don't like as much garlic, you could omit the garlic. I don't suggest totally omitting it, but you could at least maybe just 1 clove. But it just helps so much with the meat. All right, so there's that. And now the last thing I'm going to do, and it's super simple, is cut up my onion. So let me get my knife for that. I have a knife for everything, y'all. So let me cut up my onion here. And this is my cutting. I have cutting mats for meat. I have cutting mats for vegetables. This one I don't mind going ahead and using for my onion because I use my meat on it because it's going in with the meat. Typically, I would not contaminate them. So what I've got here is I've got a couple of half onions, so a total of 1 whole onion. I put them in zip bags in the fridge. Nothing special. So big wedges of onions, and they're gonna go right around it and on it. And then y'all, like, look how simple that is. It is going to be so delicious, I promise you. So I've got my lid on. There we go. So now I have got my thick cut bacon. I cook my bacon in the oven typically. And what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna take about 3 slices and I'm gonna cook it in the skillet. And I am going to take it out once I get done cooking it. Leave the bacon grease. Yes, Mom, leave the bacon grease, I promise you. And remember when grandmas used to put it in the cups and save it and like scoop it out for different things? I've not done that ever. I should, because bacon grease is amazing. So I'm going to take my cabbage. It's going to be cut really, big chunks, like 1-inch square chunks. The outside leaves are going to go to my chickens. They're going to love those. So I'm going to put those aside for them. But I'm going to cut it in big chunks. I'm going to then take an onion and slice it in little tiny chunks. The reason I do that, because I would leave them in bigger chunks. But the reason I do that is because my oldest girl will pick them out. Even at 30, she will pick them out. So I'm going to cut it in really small chunks so she just thinks it's cabbage, and I'm going to put them in. Now I don't do the core, so when you go to cut it, you'll see where the core is and you can cut the core off. As a kid, I don't know if y'all remember that as a kid, let me just show y'all. So as a kid, we used to look forward to that core. That was like a treat for us. Let me put that there and let me just show you what the core, so that the core was like so good to eat as a kid, so we couldn't wait. Now you can cut it in half like I'm going to. And let me just show you what the core looks like. So this is the core here. You don't want to eat that. That you do not want to cook. So now my mom and my grandma and everybody used to just cut the core out. I just kind of cut it in half, and I want to get the most I can out of this. And so then this would be half of the core. And so we would fight over who got to eat the core. I love cabbage. So that was so good. Don't put that in there, but then cut it in probably about 1-inch chunks, but you don't want to leave those chunks whole. You want to break them up a little bit. So that will go in your pan. Okay, so I do water in the pan. I've got my bacon grease. I do water, so maybe you're going to need a lot of water because it's going to evaporate. So maybe like a cup of water. If the water evaporates, add more water. You don't want to burn your cabbage. So you got your water. You've got, I do probably about a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is so good. And then salt and pepper. And you can put a little garlic in it if you want. I don't typically do that, but I put my lid on it and just let it simmer. And you simmer it for 2 or 3 hours. It is so good. So then when it's all done, you want to take the lid off, get the juices out. So now boil it a little bit to get all those juices out. And then you can fry it a little if you want. Just don't let it burn. I do like to fry mine. So then I put my bacon in, and then when I go to eat it, I sprinkle on some apple cider vinegar or some balsamic vinegar. It is delicious and you will love it. So that is our southern cabbage, fried cabbage, and it is amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. It is the best ever. I could eat it every day. So there we go. All right, so we got corned beef and cabbage today. I see Log Home Dad out there in the yard. It's kind of an overcast day, but we're going to enjoy St. Patrick's Day, and we're going to have an amazing dinner. And that's about it. All right, guys. Well, I hope you are also having a wonderful day, and I hope you try my recipe. Drop it down in the comments how much you like it. It's super simple. You will be a lover of corned beef and cabbage after this recipe. I promise you. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.